You know some of my team, you interact with my team as far as us doing podcast swaps and kind of working together on things. So I always have to rely on somebody that is on top of it because it's not the highest and best use of my time. I'm a deal maker. I want to be out there doing real estate deals or coaching or teaching people.
I would like to take a 10-minute break and then 3, 2, 1. How do you have the ability to analyze stocks?
Welcome to the Generations of Wealth podcast. I am your host, Derek Dombeck. Today's guest, all the way from the other side of the world, very, very intelligent man. His name is Alaric. I was on his show, and which has already been released, and just the conversation about sales and expanding into AI and just driving traffic, everything that we talk about on this show, 100% something that you should know no matter what business you're in. Before I bring him on, this is a really good example of building your network. Okay. I had a friend of a friend who knew Alaric, connected us. We were able to do podcast swaps, and he's in Singapore. So I would have never expanded my network or met him if I didn't have my own network, right, helping me grow. So that's what we're here to help you with. We are here to help you expand your network at the Generations of Wealth. Please let us do that. Reach out, derekdombeck.com, thegenerationsofwealth.com. That's enough of that. Let's get on to our show. And here he is, all the way from the other side of the world in Singapore, Mr. Alaric Ong. Thank you for being on the Generations of Wealth show, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Derek.
Before I let you tell the world about yourself, you actually had me on as a guest on your show, the Alaric Ong show, and really enjoyed that time with you, and we're able to now bring you onto the Generations of Wealth podcast to share your knowledge. But why don't we just start off, Alaric, with you telling the audience a little bit about yourself and where you're from and what you do, and then we'll dive much, much deeper.
Yes, my audience loved what you shared, and we're on track to about 3,000 views already. But anyway, so quick background about myself. My name is Alaric. I'm from Singapore. I scaled my business from $0 to $1.2 million in 18 months. And I've got thousands of students in Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, UK, America, and many other countries. Yeah. So to date, I've helped hundreds of people make more than $10,000 a month. I've got some clients making $100,000 a month, etc. And yeah, I cover like Facebook marketing and AI. So that's the two things that I specialize in.
So you're basically all about social media marketing, sales, and specifically now I think you're using a lot of AI tools, right? Okay. Yeah. So maybe start at the beginning. How did you get started? And you said you scaled the business in 18 months from 0 to 1.2 million in revenue. That in itself is awesome. Maybe give us a little background on how you even got started and what you're doing.
Sure. So that business that I scaled was actually my 5th business. I started my first business when I was 19 years old, like my first official business. It was a healthy food delivery business, and the largest bank in Singapore, DBS Bank, was our main client. So they have 10,300 employees, and we were serving food for their employees. So they sent an email to promote us. And then my second business was a sales and marketing. I built a sales team of 140 people in 10 months. And it was like somewhat like network marketing, and I was selling all kinds of stuff. I did about $7,000 my first month doing network marketing. My 4th month, I started making about $11,000 a month. And in 10 months, I built a team of 140. Yeah. My 3rd business was a sales and marketing agency, which I still run today. And we help like hotels, spas, wellness businesses, makeup, beauty products, etc. to run ads to scale their business. My 4th business was a 6-figure e-commerce business selling cosmetics. And then my coaching and seminar business is my 5th business, where I scaled that business from 0 to $1.2 million in 18 months without any capital. Like I didn't put in a single cent to start the business, and it scaled pretty quickly. So So yeah, I started since I was 19, right? But before that, even when I was 16 in school, I had this dream that I wanted to turn 10 cents into $1 million. So like 10 cents, buy something and sell it for 20 cents, buy something and sell it for 40 cents, buy something and sell it for like $1, and then buy a $1 thing and sell it for $2, etc. So I did that in school. When I was 16 years old, I found a 10-cent coin in school, and I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna turn these 10 cents into $1 million. So I traded it with my friend, sharing with him my vision. He gave me 20 cents for it. I shared with another friend. He gave me 50 cents for it, you know. And then I started like buying canned drinks to sell to my schoolmates and all that, you know. So that was not my official business where I actually like set up a company and all that. But I'd say that was my first time selling things and my first experience in entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Well, I always love when kids kind of have that mindset when they're still in school. I had met a real estate friend of mine years ago, and we were at a seminar, and he brought his son with him. And at the time, his son was 27 or 28 years old, and I didn't know anything about him. But it turns out that his son, when he was 12 years old, had already started and established 3 businesses. But the one that really got me fired up was they lived in Cleveland, Ohio, and in a summertime, he wanted to go around and paint the address on the concrete curb in front of every house. So it's usually, I don't know, maybe 2 feet or 18 inches long with a number on it. And he wanted to paint it with white reflective paint so that people could see the address on the concrete curb. Well, he went to a paint manufacturing company, and they donated all of the paint, kind of mistakenly thinking that he was doing this for charity when he was actually doing this to make a profit. Then he brought all of his other little 12-year-old friends to actually do the labor, and he would pay them per hour or per address that they painted. And he would approach the homeowners and say, well, we're doing this for free, but if you're willing to donate, we appreciate it. And he ended up making $60,000 in a summer and had all of his labor, which was his friends. So $60,000 was his net profit in a 3-month summer when he was 12 years old. And I always loved that story. I've told it quite a few times to other, especially younger people. So the fact that you kind of got started with that entrepreneurial mindset when you were in school is really awesome. So I guess, why don't we kind of jump into what you're doing now, helping people or teaching people how to be better at sales and everything with AI and your online presence.
Yeah. So what I specialize in right now is like Facebook marketing and AI. And I prefer to work with clients who have a high ticket offer. So something that's at least $2,000 to $10,000 or $20,000. And the reason why is because it's so much easier to make them profitable when they have a high ticket offer. Because imagine if, let's say, you sell a $2,000 offer, right? Whether you sell a $50 offer or $2,000 offer, your cost per lead is still the same. Like if you're going to run ads to a webinar, for example, the Facebook doesn't care how much you sell in your webinar, right? But if, let's say, I were to sell a $50 offer, it's going to be super hard to break even because let's say it costs maybe $10 per lead and maybe $30 per show up, right? And if I'm selling a $50 thing, okay, normally right now in today's market, it's like $100 or $200 per show up, right? So if I'm selling a $50 thing, even if my closing rate is 100%, it's going to be very hard for me to be profitable. Whereas if, let's say, I sold a $5,000 thing, okay? If I get $100 per show up or $200 per show up, if I'm selling a $5,000 thing, even if 1 out of 10 buy, okay, I still make 5K, okay, minus the cost of maybe 1K or 2K in ads, I still make $4,000, right? So it's a lot easier for a beginner to make money from selling a high ticket offer. Yeah. So that's what I specialize in, and I help people to create their own high ticket offers. And a lot of beginners are afraid to like charge high end because they are beginners, right? But all the more they should think of what they can put together as a package. Maybe it's a form of done for you service or one-to-one coaching, something that's high value, so that when they sell it, they can sell it for a high price and still have a pretty good conversion rate. Yeah.
Okay. So primarily your clients are going to be in the information space. I'm assuming, in selling coaching or selling some sort of a training. How does that come across? So a lot of our listeners are real estate investors, and they're trying to use social media to get leads to buy real estate deals. How does that transition into that? They're not trying to sell something per se, but you still have a cost to acquire that lead, a cost to acquire that property, right?
Mhm.
Do you have any feedback on what you do and how that can work for real estate investors in that process?
So first of all, this doesn't just apply for information and coaching, right? In fact, I like working with real estate agents as well as real estate investors, as well as insurance agents, etc. The reason why is because property is a very high ticket product, right? It's something that you sell for $1 million in Singapore. A condo is $3 million, right? So even if you pay a lot to acquire a lead, like in fact, one of my favorite types of clients are real estate people because they can afford to spend more on marketing in order to sell a property or buy a property, etc. So the same principles will apply in acquiring properties and also in selling properties. Okay, and in any business, you make money from selling, right? So in real estate, it's the same thing. You make money when you sell the real estate, right? And I have a 4-step framework on how to sell anything, right? So first we get people's attention, right? Like in order to sell anything, we need to get their attention in the first place. Whether you run an ad or you add them as a friend or you cold call them or, like you need to get their attention in the first place, right? And then once they are interested, they become a lead where they give you their name, contact number, and email, or maybe they become your Facebook friend, or maybe they become your Instagram follower that becomes a lead. And then the key is in how do you message them to turn them into an appointment, okay? And then from appointment, turning that into revenue. So revenue will be either when you buy a real estate from them, then you acquire the property, or when you sell a real estate to them, that turns into revenue. Yeah. So this is the 4-step system to sell anything: attention, leads, appointments, revenue. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess, how did you learn all of this? Has this just been trial and error? And obviously things are changing so rapidly with AI and social media platforms. Staying on top of that is a full-time job, let alone teaching and training. What's your background with all that?
Yeah. So I know I look pretty young, but I've been doing coaching and seminars for 8 years now. I remember I started in 2018. So it's been about 8 or 9 years already. Okay, this will be my 9th year doing this. Yeah, and the algorithm and everything has changed. Like Facebook, to advertise in Facebook 8 years ago was so much cheaper compared to now. But at the same time, Facebook has improved their algorithm in the sense that in the past I need to choose who I need to target and stuff. But nowadays, Facebook has an algorithm where the AI will read the copywriting of the ad and find the audience that's likely to resonate with this. And then if it doesn't, they'll find another audience. And like the algorithm is so smart now that you don't even have to choose which audience you want to target. So that's one. Secondly, Facebook has become easier because it allows you to have many different permutations of ads. So in the past, 8 years ago, when we ran ads, right? Let's say if you want to test a different headline or test a different image or test a different description or different text, we would need to duplicate the ad and change the headline. Duplicate the ad, change the headline. Duplicate the ad, change the headline, right? So you have to have like thousands of ads in order to speed test different headlines and different descriptions. But now what Facebook has done is that they have this thing where you can just put in 5 texts, 5 headlines, 5 descriptions, and 10 images or videos. And then it will do like headline A, image A, description A, text A, B, C, A, B, B. So for me, when I run ads, right, every ad I run thousands of permutations of ads because I run like 20 headlines, 20 descriptions, 20 texts, and maybe 50 images or videos. So that's 20 times 20 is 400, times 20 is 8,000, times 50, that's like 100 and that's like probably 400,000 variations of ads concurrently that's being run. And AI is managing them. So the AI will spend more money on the ads that do well and less on the ads that don't do well. So this is something that makes running ads so much easier compared to last time. Yeah. So and there are many different things. Like we use AI callers in our business. We use AI chatbots where the AI chatbot will set appointments automatically. We have AI landing pages where I have an AI that I just write the prompt and it will design 10 landing pages for me and speed test 10 different landing pages at the same time. And it's what brings my cost per lead very, very cheap because I can test different angles, different landing pages, and I can test different ads. And yeah, so there's so many things that we do in our business ever since AI came about. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is my thing. I'm not technically savvy when it comes to any of this stuff. You know some of my team, you interact with my team as far as us doing podcast swaps and kind of working together on things. So I always have to rely on somebody that is on top of it because it's not the highest and best use of my time. I'm a deal maker. I want to be out there doing real estate deals or coaching or teaching people. So when you're the question is when you're setting these up and you're working with a client, like let's say you are going to work for me and handle all of my marketing, where do we start and how do you build a customized plan for me?
So first of all, do you already have a high ticket offer that you sell?
So personally, I have a negotiations training, which is called No Means Not Yet. So it's an online training. By the way, anyone listening, go to nomeansnotyet.com and check it out and buy it. But yeah, so I've had that training program for a couple of years. And if I was going to want to come to you and market that, what are the steps?
Okay, so the first thing I would do, first of all, is it like an offer that's $2,000 and above, or it's a low ticket?
Currently it's $997.
It's doable, okay, but it will be best if you sell that and you also have a backend offer, like a 5K, like a 3K or 5K offer, okay? But this is how I would do it.
Let me stop you, Alaric.
Sure.
Everybody listening, you just heard him say I should up the price on this training. So if you want it at the cheaper price, you should go get it now. This is just fun. All right, go ahead now.
So, okay, let me share with you what I would do, okay? So the first thing I would do for you would be to do an automated webinar fund, okay? And so how it works is people see a Facebook ad and then they register for the training, they put their name, contact number, and email, and then they get to attend an automated webinar, okay? And this automated webinar will then ask them to book a call. Okay, so and then during the call, you or your sales team will sell them on your 997 offer or a 5K offer. Okay, normally what we like to do is we will sell the 5K offer first, and if the person cannot afford, then we will downsell the 997. Make sense? So that this way, because you see, if I sell a 997 offer, it seems expensive. Or if let's say I was to sell you a $50 thing and then sell a 997 thing, 997 seems expensive. But if I were to sell you a 5K thing, and if you can't afford it, I say, oh, I have this 997 thing. Now 997 seems cheap, right? So, and there will be some people that will be able to afford the 5K thing in the first place, right? So that's how we do it. Now, so because they went through an automated webinar, they are going to be super pre-framed and like they are already educated about your products and all that. And the reason why I can close 60 to 80% of my appointments in 20 minutes is because they've already went through my webinar, which is like maybe an hour long. So the only thing that they don't know when they come through the webinar is they don't know the price. So they book the call to find out the price. So I kind of like find out what they need and all that, and then I share with them the price. And that's why my calls can be 20 minutes long because it's really just about negotiate. Like it's really just about whether the price fits them. Okay, if it doesn't, then we downsell. Okay. Now, why is an automated webinar better than a live webinar? It's because for a live webinar, your show up rates are going to be about 10 to 30%. So let's say if you have 100 leads that register for your webinar, probably you'll get 10 to 30 that actually show up for the webinar. And show up rates are getting worse and worse in today's day and age. Okay. Yeah. Now, let's compare that with an automated webinar that happens 24/7. Your show up rate can be as high as 80%. Why? Because they just registered for the webinar. So like it happens like 15 minutes from now or 10 minutes from now. It's something that they can wait for and they can attend. Okay. So number one, you get a higher show up rate. Now, so let's look at the stats from a live webinar versus an automated webinar. 100 leads, okay? If you do a live webinar, 30 show up, and let's say 20% book a call, end up you will get maybe 6 people that book a call out of 100 leads, right? Whereas if let's say you ran an automated webinar, on average, out of 100 leads, we have maybe 50 to 80% who will show up, and you get 20 to 25 who will book an appointment. Okay. So 20 to 25 booked appointments compared to 6 booked appointments is a 3x or 4x lift in difference, right? And the best part is that when you do an automated webinar, you just present it once and it happens 24/7. Whereas if you do a live webinar, I used to do live seminars and webinars. Every single week, I would do a live webinar, and I used to do 4 seminars a week. Okay, that was back in the day in 2019, where like I was doing seminars almost every single day. And at that point, yes, I could do it, right? I was young and stuff. But now, with being a father and all that kind of stuff, if you ask me, do I want to do 4 seminars a week? I think that's not really the lifestyle that I'm here. So for you, I would recommend having an automated webinar. And then to increase the appointments, what we can do also is to have AI WhatsApp to follow up with every single lead. That means every lead that opts in, they'll receive a WhatsApp message to ask them to book an appointment, to ask them to watch the webinar and also book an appointment and also join your WhatsApp group and all that kind of stuff. And then we also have AI callers to call them, to follow up with them, to make sure that they show up, they book an appointment as well. And in fact, my AI caller is booking one appointment out of every 4 leads that it calls. Okay, it's better than a human appointment setter. I've had human appointment setters, they book like 1 out of 20 leads, but my AI appointment setter books like 1 out of 4 leads. Yeah, so the game has completely changed. Yeah,
it has. And so to put this in perspective for people, again, that are just trying to find real estate deals, I have a colleague, he's actually a doctor. When he has a real estate deal that he's trying to raise money on, it's the same thing. He's got an email blast, he's got social media, he's got things out there. Now, raising money, you have to be careful in the United States. I mean, you have to do it correctly. You can't just openly offer, a rate of return and things like that on social media. That's a good way to end up in handcuffs. But when he has a legitimate offering and he's got the proper paperwork to raise money in place, he can advertise and drive traffic to a short, in your case, webinar, but in his case, a short video, an informational video. Then his AI is scheduling appointments on his calendar to talk to these potential investors if they want to invest in that syndication. So those of you listening, what Alaric is saying, don't think that it only works just if you're trying to sell a high ticket product. It's the same thing if you're trying to find real estate deals, raise money, right? Use your imagination. Everything he teaches can work across the board.
Exactly. Yeah. You could run Facebook ads to get buyer leads. You can also run Facebook ads to get seller leads, So you could run a Facebook ad. For example, you could just do a simple lead form ad where you get their name, contact number, and email. And then your AI will send them automated emails and call them and WhatsApp them to get them to book an appointment with you so that you can discuss further whether you buy the property, sell the property, etc. Yeah, it definitely works.
Definitely. So I'm not going to talk to you about what it costs for your services because I already know it's very case by case depending on what the client needs. And so I wouldn't want to, kind of pin you down on that depending on when people listen to this show. But the point is you've got a proven system of increasing your brand awareness and your leads and your conversion, quite frankly. So what else do you think is kind of what gets people stuck? Like what mindset do you have to continuously increase, and how do you help other people that way with mindset?
I would say the first mindset everyone needs to fix is about about sales. Okay, like a lot of people are afraid to sell, but like you and I know that sales equals income. So a lot of like my first business that I did, my healthy food delivery business, right? I thought that I wanted to start that business because I don't need to sell, and like people just automatically buy food because they're hungry, right? But then when I realized that, hey, I needed to close the bank, that's a sale. That was a deal that I had to negotiate, right? And like how I did the website, that was all sales. That was all marketing, right? So there's no such thing as doing a business without sales. In fact, sales equals income because every way to make money is a sale. Whether it's selling real estate, it's a sale, right? Whether it's selling crypto, that's a sale. Whether it's selling trading gold or whatever, it's all a sale, right? The definition of a sale is exchanging something for money. So yeah. So I think the first thing that people need is to master sales and to love to sell. Yeah, because I meet a lot of people, like everyday people who are like, hey, I don't like to sell. But here's the thing, we are always selling. Employees sell their time for money, entrepreneurs sell products and services, and leaders sell visions. We are always selling every single day. We're always buying and we're always selling, right? So so I think that that's the first mindset, right? Which is why like I created hypnosis audios to help people to and it's free, where I help people to reframe their mindset about sales and reframe their mindset about high ticket sales, about being like not believing that they are good at sales into become to believing that they are good at sales. So I think that's the first thing that they need to learn. Okay. And then also to be persistent and determined and everything. I think that's very, very important. Like just like how you were so determined. Like I interviewed you last week and you shared about how you went from bankrupt to being able to lend out $3 million a month. How many people can do that, right? How many people would just accept defeat when they were bankrupt, which is why like the title that I named that podcast, you can go and check it out, is from bankrupt to lending out $3 million a month. Derek Dombeck or something like that. You can go and find it. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I think that's the thing that people need to have. They need to have your grit and your tenacity and your perseverance and your determination. Yeah.
Well, and the other side of that, which I know you're big on, is just having a larger vision, right? A global vision, because we're talking right now. You're outside of Singapore. I'm in Wisconsin in the United States, but we're able to help each other, help each other's listeners. It's a much broader vision than it ever was even 10, 20 years ago. What's the importance of global vision to you?
To me right now, I think it's super important, right? Because having that vision helps you to attract the right employees, it helps you to attract the right customers, it helps you to attract the right investors, etc. So, like for example, for me, my vision is to help 10,000 people to make $10,000 a month. So far, I've helped hundreds of people in the last 8 years, and I'm hoping that in the next in a shorter time period compared to 8 years, I'll be able to help 10,000 people because I believe that there will be an exponential effect, right? Because it compounds and so there will be network effects. There will be many different, and with AI and everything to help people to make $10,000 a month is probably a lot easier compared to 8 years ago. And like now they can sell AI services, there are different things that they can do. And with AI, they can do real estate deals much easier. They can script leads. Like for example, you could script 10,000 leads just from Google using AI. Or you could employ an open claw, to get an open claw bot to go and email property owners and stuff. Like there's so many things that we can do now compared to last time. Yeah, it's so much easier to generate wealth.
Well, I think back to when I first started my real estate business in 2003, and we used to buy real estate on newspaper ads. I mean, just local, reading through a physical newspaper and circling ads and calling. And now 23, 24 years later, I have 3 of my staff that are on the other side of the world. You and I are talking. To think back 23 years ago, it doesn't even seem realistic or possible. And now with AI, it literally is a global business, no matter how we look at it. And the opportunities are endless. Like you to help 10,000 people get to that goal, your market is billions of people. It's the whole world. And it's crazy to think not that long ago, that wasn't even close to possible. So exactly, it's pretty sweet. Yeah. And I think you're also a huge proponent on leverage, right? Leveraging, working smarter, not harder. And it's always important to kind of go through that. What's your mindset on leverage?
Yeah, I mean, like if you look at my funnel, everything is leveraged. Like example, an automated webinar, that's a leverage thing, right? Rather than having to present live every time. Running Facebook ads, that's leverage. Using AI WhatsApp to follow up with leads, that's leverage. Using AI callers to follow up with leads, that's leverage. Having a Google Calendar, having a calendar that people could just book appointments, that's leverage. Last time you would have to message them back and forth and arrange a time. Now with Google Calendar, it's so much easier. So, and then automated emails and stuff, those are all leverage, right? Yeah, so like everything about my business, I try to remove myself from the business as much as possible. So like for me, I don't even do the sales calls myself. I have a team to do that. And eventually I want to outsource that to an AI caller, where the AI caller will do the sales calls for me. One day when AI reaches that point where I don't have to have a human to do sales calls. You know, I get an AI to do sales calls for me instead. That'll be awesome. Yeah. So I believe leverage is super important because with leverage, you know, like Archimedes said, like, you know, if you give me a long enough lever, I can lift up the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now we have our AI agent that takes inbound calls when we have rental properties available and has a conversation with prospective tenants. And also when people are trying to sell houses, I have live people answer calls, but if they're not available because they're on other calls, the AI agent kicks in. All of those things I could have never dreamed of 5-10 years ago. And they don't sleep. They're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That is leverage. That's important.
Exactly.
Because people have zero patience to wait for a response. They want instant gratification. That's the world we live in now. Well, Alaric, as we kind of wrap this up, I know that you've got something that you want to kind of give away to my audience, which is a sales class. You all can get it at thegenerationsofwealth.com/sales class, but talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so this is a class that I'll be giving to all your audience for free. It's normally $5,000. It's a 2-day sales class where I'll be sharing with you like how do you create a high ticket offer? How do you, based on your experience and your expertise, how do you create a high ticket offer that you can sell? And then how do you brand yourself in a way and how do you position yourself so that you can sell it? And then how do you get the leads and how do you turn them into appointments to close these high ticket sales? Yeah. And then how do you automate the whole thing with, let's say, an automated webinar funnel using AI to automate everything? And how we can consistently close $3,000 to $10,000 first. And I've got so many clients who just went through this free training and they hit their first 10K per month, etc. And so far, we have already had like more than 4,000 or 5,000 people who have registered for this class. Yeah. So it's going to be awesome. You're going to get so much of value. Like you're going to get way more than $5,000 of value. And you're going to get it completely free so long as you use Derek's link. Yeah.
Perfect. So that's thegenerationsofwealth.com/sales class. And now the hardest question that I ask almost every person that comes on my show, what is one question I should have asked you that I did not? And it can be about anything.
What is one question you should have asked me? Wow, that's a pretty tough one. You should ask me what other AI tools that we use in my business. Yeah.
Okay, there's the question. What's the answer?
Okay, so we've covered like AI chatbots, AI callers, right? Okay, so we also have AI websites, right? So you can generate a website in 1 minute. Okay. And there's also AI PowerPoint slides. So like you can generate an entire slide deck in 1 minute using AI. And in fact, I've used AI to generate slides, right? And when I do my seminar, I have an 80% conversion rate on a $400+ offer. So like when I do a seminar, I sell a $400 offer and 80% of people buy, right? Using my AI generated slides, which means it doesn't matter whether the slides were generated with AI or generated by a human being. Yeah. We also do AI music, okay, where like you can just create a song with 30 seconds. And let me share with you the opportunity for that, okay? I know that the audience is real estate audience and all that. But at the same time, maybe if anyone wants to make some side income, there are so many offers they can sell now that AI is here, okay? So for example, if let's say, I understand they're doing their real estate, they are doing their investment and stuff. But if let's say they have a side income that makes an extra 5K to 10K per month, I think that'll be pretty good for them as well. Pretty passive, right? So imagine, let's say you sell websites to business owners for $500 to $5,000, okay? let's say $2,000, right? So you can sell websites, or you can sell AI chatbots. I used to sell AI chatbots for $6,000. So they can sell AI chatbots that can be integrated with Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, etc. They can sell that to business owners. They could also sell like AI callers, let's say for 2K to 6K. Or for example, they could sell AI music. That means they help a business to generate a song for them. Like every company should have their own theme song, like their own anthem. So maybe they can sell it for like $500 to $5,000. And they could sell like an automated webinar funnel system for maybe $5,000 to their clients, or they could sell Facebook marketing services for $1,000 to $2,000 a month. So they add all these services together. Every client they can make like $5,000 to $10,000 per client. And so, assuming every month you just get 4 clients, that's an extra 5 figures per month in income. And with that money, you can then invest and down pay for more real estate. And the whole thing becomes like a loop. And the best part is that you only need to work maybe 2 hours a day or even less. Like for me, I work 2 hours per week running my business, and I'm doing pretty well. Yeah. So with AI, these are all the opportunities that they can get in if they just heard this last segment and their mind goes, oh yeah, maybe I should do that. Oh, let's Google how to do an AI chatbot. Let's Google how to do an AI caller. Like if it opens up their mind, if they open up their mind to it, they will find the opportunity.
I love that. And it's all about your mindset. If you believe you can, you can. If you believe you can't, or you won't. So, well, that's a great way to wrap it up, Alaric. I really appreciate you being on. And I know as we're recording this, it's already getting pretty late at night for you, and it's still mid-morning for me. But again, thanks so much for sharing your knowledge on the Generations of Wealth show. I will give that link one more time, thegenerationsofwealth.com/sales class. Go and get that free training. Very generous of you. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Derek, for having me. And I look forward to seeing all of you at the class. And I hope all of you will embrace the AI revolution and all that as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. For everybody else, go use your AI to spread the message of the Generations of Wealth podcast. Let the whole world know what we're all about. We've got another great show that they should absolutely check out. And until the next one, go and live your vision and love your life. See ya.